They're trying to escape. But I was just telling them, do not chase temporary happiness. Don't chase temporary peace. Don't chase that because it's a false peace that drugs will give you.
Another episode of One Fourth TV. We're on episode 5 now. Today I got my co-host Big Mel. I got C. Lou in the building as well.
What's good? What's good?
Today we got a special guest from Newcastle, Delaware. Broke national news with an infamous $500 wedding. Joel Brokenbrough. Excuse me if I said it wrong, bro. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man.
All right. Like Lou said, man, I'm Joe Brokenbrough. I'm come from Newcastle, Delaware. I moved to California, I say back in 2012, where I went to Fullerton College, and that's where I met Mel, and I met Chris. We was all on the same basketball team. Y'all know how it went. You know what I'm saying? It was they play football too. They play both basketball and football. So just being around them, I mean, they knew the atmosphere that we was around and stuff like that. It was definitely a life changing experience just being in California, being in the JUCO system. Y'all know how the JUCO system work. Playing sports and stuff like that. Y'all know how the system go down. But that was a big part of my life. After I went to JUCO, I signed to California State, Los Angeles. Played there for 2 years. My senior year got cut short because of certain situations and stuff like that. Got cut short, but luckily in late 2016, 2017, I was able to play. Got my first offer to play in Bolivia. So I played in South America. From South America, I played in over 17 different countries, and since for about 5-6 years, man. So the route I took was different, especially coming from a small state of Delaware. You don't really hear about athletes coming from Delaware. It wasn't a big thing as far as when it comes to athletics. So coming from Delaware, I put that, I use that as a chip on my shoulder. And now I see players like Bones Holland, that's on the LA Clippers, that come from where I come from. That just gives me, it just confirms a lot of things in me that like where I'm come from, you can make it. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
For sure.
now
when you was
go ahead.
I thought when you was growing up in Delaware, when did you actually start hooping?
So I didn't start playing basketball till I think I was 10 years old. I had moved to Atlanta. The funny story is I was in Atlanta, right? And
Yeah.
I went to Snellville Middle School. And after Snellville Middle School, you usually have them schools where you go to one middle school and the high school that's next to your neighborhood or something like that. You go to that high school. So
Right.
the high
Right.
school I was supposed to go to was with Lewis Williams. Lewis Williams,
For
he went
real.
to South Gwinnett High School. So Lewis
Yeah.
Williams,
Oh yeah.
Dwight Howard. But the funny thing is, in middle school, the reason why I started playing basketball in middle school is crazy. So LeBron's coach at St. Vincent St. Mary's was my 6th grade middle school teacher, bro. And this is how
True
this
Joy.
is
Dang,
how
that's
I found out about
crazy.
this is how I found
That's
out
crazy.
about LeBron.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah.
He told me who this basketball player was. LeBron James is gonna be the next great thing, whatever. Come to find out he is. All right, y'all see what's going on. But that was my middle school
Exactly.
teacher, man. Y'all look up Stephen Colt. He was my 6th grade middle school teacher. And that was the reason when he told me told me about LeBron, that's what made me go full fledged and playing basketball. I was a football player at first.
Yeah.
Then that's what made me play basketball. So
So
yeah, I started
do you
playing
feel like you kind of
basketball.
went all in with it after that?
You said what?
I said, do you feel like you kind of went all in with basketball, kind of like after that?
All in, man.
Yeah.
All in. It was something about him, his story, man, and about LeBron just made me just, hey, if he could do it, let me try.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Sure.
yeah, that's what made me start playing basketball, really taking it serious, man.
I got a quick question.
So
I got a quick question. What made you, coming from where you came from, what made you just decide like, after high school, I'm gonna take my chances and just go to California and go to a JUCO, because JUCO is
And
it's
one
tough,
more,
man.
Mhm.
and on top of that, to add to Mel's question, before you even decided JUCO, did you have any like college interests or scholarships or anything?
Okay. So, man, so as far as basketball thing, like I never with my attitude and how I grew up, man. I never thought basketball would take me where it took me. It actually saved my life, bro. Like to be honest, if it weren't for basketball, you guys probably wouldn't even be talking to me right now. So, um,
Yeah.
Right.
I had looks going in. I mean, in high school, I didn't start. I started playing like school basketball wise because I was always in trouble. So high school was the first time I stayed out of trouble. It was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do this high school basketball thing. So ninth grade, I went to William Penn. And shout out to William Penn. They just went to the state championship just yesterday, matter of fact. So I went to William Penn,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I played with dudes like Brian Oliver. He went to Georgia Tech. I played with James P, another basketball Delaware legend. Um, but those were the type of guys I played with. Those are the type of guys that I looked at and seen talent, seen greatness in them that made me want to just, hey, I'm gonna take this real serious. So,
Right.
mind you, so me playing, I went to three different high schools um, in my high school days. So I went to William Penn my freshman year. I transferred, went to Hodson Votech for 2 years. That's a vocational school, and then I ended up going to a
Okay.
military school in Virginia. Um, but I ended up getting looks through AAU. Luckily, I had a guy named Terrell Myers, who is the owner of the We Are One Sports, and he's the one that has all he the one who got like me, AJ English, who played at Iona. He got Bones Highland that
Right.
went to I forgot what college he went to, but he's in the league.
Vandy.
They got a lot of league guys, but it was because of
Right.
us. It was because of me, AJ English, Elijah, Jalen Bond. He started off the AU with us with the group. I say the guys in that year. It was
Right.
and with that, he was able to conjure up a whole bunch of We Are One at AAU teams to bring it to where it is today. But um, I had looks in high school, but I never had the grades. And because I didn't have the grades, of course, you had to look at that JUCO option. You had to look at the prep school option, and I had to take the JUCO route because my grades wasn't up to par. Y'all know, your grades up to par. You either go post grad prep school or you take the JUCO route. So I
Right.
had to take the JUCO
For
route.
Right.
sure.
For sure. For sure. Was it a big change you coming, from there and then actually being, at Fullerton? Like, was it what you expected it would be, or was it kind of something that was just totally different and you had to really adjust to it?
Man, it was different, man. Coming from the East Coast, the West Coast and East Coast is different. So of course, being out in
Right.
California, I'm like, hey, I'm in California, like it's lit, like
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
out here now, but
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
different pace. Like I feel like the West Coast is it's more athleticism and it's more of a fast paced type game rather than the East Coast, more physical, slow down, type gritty type game. So
Right.
I
Right. Right.
seen it was a chance for me to. It gave me a leverage a little bit because I came in with like a chip on my shoulder to where even though that it was more, I was an athletic guy, so my game could fit with the with the West Coast type game, and I think this is
Right.
that it was why I was able to translate my game even further because playing out here and seeing the style of play, I was able to elevate my game in a sense. So it's just
Right.
in the basketball aspect and just the all around lifestyle aspect. I feel like coming to California, going to JUCO, going to Fullerton, it gave me a leverage to where if I would have took it seriously enough, I probably would have took my game and took my I say life in a different way. But it is what it is.
No. Yeah. I understand.
And
No. I understand.
to hit on California JUCO sports a little bit, I had the opportunity to play both in California and then go to a national junior college in Texas. For the national JCs, you know, they got
Mhm.
scholarships, you get meal plans. You don't get the best place to live, but they still offer you somewhere to live. Whereas to Cali, you completely on your own. There is no scholarships. You got to try to find an apartment off campus. Um, Kind of talk about that a little bit, and because I don't think many people really understand how much of a struggle it is. Like you're completely independent once you hit the
Or
JUCO
just kind of
system.
explain what
So
that kind of looks like for
okay,
an out of town
so
student to come to California to a JUCO.
um, I'm gonna be straight up. So I went to a national JUCO. I went to Lamar Community College out there in Colorado. So I know what you mean. You got a place to live. You got a place to stay. Matter of fact, you only can go to that school if you play sports. So they had you
Right.
set up
Exactly.
to where I'm gonna prepare you for a professional lifestyle. I'm gonna prepare you for college. I'm gonna prepare you for this and that. Rather, I came to California, and it's like again, you're independent. So if you ain't hungry, if you ain't out here trying to really do something with your life, you're not gonna survive, man. I'm talking you. You not. You not. You either gonna fall. You either gonna fall into the category of partying. You're gonna fall in the category of
Hmm.
girls, uh, falling drugs, the whole nine. If you ain't hungry, if you ain't disciplined enough to really lock in and stay focused on and focus on what you got to do, you're gonna fall victim to that because California JUCO is not built for just for people that's not hungry. You see what I'm saying? You at a
For
Right.
national
sure.
JUCO, you're given certain things that you're not given in California JUCOs. You're given you got meal plans, like you said, you got meal plans. You got a place to live rest of your head.
For
I know
sure.
people in California JUCOs that had to sleep at the park. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's
For
just
sure.
a different type of
Right.
hunger, a different type of commitment you got to have, and a different type of determination you got to have to survive California JUCO. Because a lot of people go to California JUCOs, and a lot of people are good. There are some good people that you competing against.
Yeah.
So it's a grind, man. It's definitely a grind.
Who would you say was kind of
And
like?
Yeah,
that's
I
a
agree with
fact.
that.
Oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was gonna say you and Chris
Mhm.
could definitely attest to that. I had a little taste of it at San Bernardino, living in the Palms. You probably got a 4 bedroom apartment. You got two people in each room. You probably got three, four people in the living room, bro. Like that. That should get tough sometimes.
Bro, it's crazy. And you supposed to find a way to be cool with that while still trying to graduate, like still trying to make it to class,
Mm-hmm.
like you
Exactly.
figuring all that out at the same time, like it get real tough. Like you were saying, like the people that's not really hungry or that really can't just focus and tune stuff out, like when it's time to really go, like they usually the people that don't make it, like regardless of talent or not, like that really usually be like the separating factor.
Yep.
Like it's tough,
Stuff.
bro.
It's tough. I've seen a lot of people fall victim, man. Even I came, I fell victim to it, man. But again, it was. Luckily, God had His hands on me, man, because I tell you,
Right.
California JUCO, bro, changed my whole. It changed my life. It legit changed my life. Good in a positive way and a negative way. But like again, if you ain't hungry
Right.
enough, if you ain't committed, and dedicated to what you do, it's a wrap.
So during that time, like
For sure.
knowing that it's so tough being a JUCO, like that's kind of how we all met during our time at Fullerton. Who would you say was like the person that kind of kept their head on straight during these times? Like how we was talking about, it's kind of easy to fall below the wayside at a school like that, being across the country, not really having the funds to be able to do different things. Like who kind of like helped keep you like on the level path and to get things done while you're out there?
Um,
Or was it just your
Elf,
own
it's
personal
tough, man.
mindset of not wanting to go back?
It's that, and I would say my brother. Rest in peace to my brother, man. My brother always he was a football guy. He loved football. He wanted to go do big things in football, but again, with you can become a product of your environment. So him
For
seeing
sure.
me do my thing, he always tried to encourage me, like, yo, even when I had bad days, even when I had, tore my ACL, he like, yo, keep pushing. So I it just just
Right.
just just reflecting on. how my life could have been if I would have stayed home. Like how my brother did. Just reflecting on that kind of like gave me a drive and a push because I knew what I didn't want to come back to. You see what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
it's
Right.
like you making it and then you looking back and it's like you got people that you want to bring with you, but where you at right now, you really can't because you struggling in an environment you at yourself. Especially being in JUCO, you
Right.
struggling too. So when people need help, it's like, hey, I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
But I'm trying to
trying to
figure
figure
it
it
out
out too,
too.
man.
Right.
So I
That's a
would say my
fact.
brother, man, my brother.
That's
Man,
powerful.
rest in
Sir.
peace, bro.
Rest in
I would
peace,
say,
bro.
bro, when I first met you on the team, that was around the time you was hurt as well, and I remember we really didn't get a chance to be on the court together, but I remember like, bro, like you always was getting guys up, like even guys like you more ready to play than people that was on the
Hungry.
court. Bro, I used to watch that like, bro, I can't wait till dude come back, like, and it's crazy because you talked about those was times you were struggling and going through stuff, but like when we in the gym, bro, like you was the energy for most people, like getting people going, like pumping people up, ready to play, like so. People probably really wasn't even,
Hey,
like I was saying, more ready to play than most people.
that's all
Like,
it is.
and
Heck yeah.
you could really see that, like the passion in it. A lot of people, it didn't mean as much to them. You could tell, like it meant a lot to you. You know what I'm saying? You coming from way far away, like, and you hurt. You can't even play right now, like, and then you could just see the hunger in you, like immediately, like. Bro, I love going to practice and playing and being on that team.
All
Like
right.
we really changed stuff around just from having you motivating dudes and getting dudes ready, like out of their body ready to play
Yeah.
type stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I remember when you and Mel came to practice, it was different, man. Like you don't even gotta speak to a person to see what they're about. You can just see look at their body language, look at their style, just look at how they operate around people, just see how they move. You know who's ready, who's not, bro. That's just how athletes are. We
Right.
gonna look somebody up and down and see, all right, this is the type of player that they are. You feel what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I, you just having y'all on the team, like y'all brought a different beast out of people, bro. It was the reason why
Right.
coach had y'all on the team. It wasn't because hey we did need more bodies, but we needed that was hungry. We needed people that was ready to play and people that's gonna have that attitude, man. Like that's
For
what we
sure.
needed,
For sure.
and I agree. Like you just the energy is needed, man. The energy that I try to bring was because I didn't have nobody doing that for me, bro. And I had something
For
inside of me
sure.
to bring it out because I was struggling myself. So if I needed
For
needed
sure.
something
For sure.
to get other people going because it's like, yo, if I don't do this, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna make it throughout these next couple of days. I don't know how I'm gonna make it to tomorrow
Yeah.
if I can't see somebody
Yeah, yeah.
else's potential. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I
For
did what I
sure.
did,
For
bro.
sure.
And I'm still the same. Still
For
the same.
sure.
Heck
Man.
yeah. So you play them years at Fullerton JUCO, then you get that scholarship offer to go to Cal State LA and hoop. How are you feeling at that moment? You feeling like you finally make it, you finally on the right path you want to be on it as a basketball player?
I felt like all the work I put in was I was getting paid back. I was getting what I was due. And I wasn't supposed
Yeah.
to go. I wasn't supposed to go D2, man. I was supposed to go to Iona with my boy AJ English. I was getting looks at Cal State Fullerton. I was getting looks at Long Beach State, Robert Morris. I had a lot of looks, man. But I had to graduate Fullerton to be able to go D1. So I'm like,
Right.
man, mind you, I'm not a school guy. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna settle. They're gonna give me a full scholarship. I'm gonna get my Pell Grant. I ain't gonna be able to come out of pocket. So hey,
Coming from JUCO though,
that's what it is.
hey,
I'm gonna
coming
work
from
with that.
JUCO though, hey,
Heck
You
yeah.
feel me? Like I'm
we'll
hey,
take it.
if
That's
I'm
a
getting a
lot,
check
bro.
every month. All right, cool. We good.
Man.
But I really felt like, yo, this is like I really worked for this point. So I felt like this was my due. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
For
And
sure.
then from there, we'll actually talk about how those 2 seasons at Cal State
Okay.
LA went for you. Talk about that whole
Man,
experience.
so my junior year, when I feel like that was one of my best years as far as athletically. I feel like my sophomore year at Fullerton College, that was my best year. I feel like that was my best basketball year I had ever. Averaged about 20 points,
Yeah,
10 rebounds. I was first team all
Man,
conference. I
crazy.
was I was getting it in. But then when I went to Cal State LA. Your roles change. Roles change in sports. You might be this
for
guy, but
sure.
when you go higher, you got to change some things up. So
Right.
Exactly.
when you fall into that system, it's like let me do the system. I didn't really know the plays like that. They had different types of plays. Me, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do go out there and hoop. Like, forget them plays. So
Yeah, yeah,
that hindered me. So coach didn't really play me like that. He played me because he knew he had to play me, but it was the plays that really hindered my game. Not knowing, not really taking the game seriously. It's not about just going out there and hooping. You really got to know plays. You got to know. You got to study. It's really another job for real. You feel me? I think I was
for
caught up in
sure.
Right.
just being there and like just living that basketball life that I didn't really take it seriously. But my junior year, man, was I really loved my junior year. I didn't score as much, but I was still the player that they recruited me as. Um, but
For
junior year I
sure.
was still getting in. I got in. I think I got drug tested one day. Me and my roommate, we got drug tested one day. Mind you, I wasn't doing no drugs back when after I got signed. I laid it off. I laid off, smoking weed and all that.
Right.
I stopped doing that. So I'm
Right.
like, yo, I'm really trying to take it serious now. So after we got drug tested, I
Yeah,
passed. We passed, right? Instead of just saying, okay, I passed my drug test. Let's keep grinding it out. I thought it was like, okay, I took my drug test. I'm not gonna get drug tested no more. So let me start getting high again. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
made some dumb decisions to the point where I ended up getting kicked out the dorms, man. Like the end of the year, I got kicked out of the dorm. So instead of having a school or a dorm to go to for my senior year, I had to find a place to stay. You feel what I'm saying? And
Right.
that was step one
yeah,
from me finishing out the year strong my senior year to me completely ruining my senior year, bro. I completely ruined my senior year. I'm not blaming
Right.
no. I ruined my senior year because of the decisions I made, man. And it was me. It was stuff I was dealing with that I didn't open up to people about. Um, it was just some things that people, when you play sports, there's a lot of things that go on as a student athlete that we don't talk about. And instead of
Definitely.
me talking
For
about
sure.
those things, I let her destroy me in a sense. You feel what I'm saying? So I had a terrible senior
Yeah,
year,
I get
man.
you.
I got kicked out. I didn't kick out. I didn't get kicked out the school, but I basically dropped out. Got kicked off the team. Luckily, I got kicked off the team. My coach still allowed me to get my scholarship. He could have just took all that away, but he allowed me to finish
Right.
out school. But man, I was so depressed and out. I went back home, man. I went back home.
Right.
So I was done with school. But
For sure.
to answer your question, man, like those 2 years, I feel like my junior year was one of my best years, but my senior year was just a year that I fell off, man. I fell off.
and from
Do
that
you,
point, oh my fault. Go ahead, Lou.
I was just gonna say, do you use that as like a motivation for you to like keep pushing when you feel like things getting hard now, or when you feel like you might, everybody get a certain time where they going through a little something, or something might be weighing on you heavier than usual. Do you use that as something to keep you motivated and keep you, you know what I'm saying, going and pushing forward?
Bro, I still have dreams of my college days, bro. I'm like, yo, that's
Right.
already that's
Same, bro.
already dead and gone. Why I'm still having dreams about it is because I know I still have regrets from those days. You feel what I'm saying? But I do use
Right.
that as motivation and encouragement during those bad times. I realize being an adult now and being out of college that it's going to be something either way, good or bad. It's going to be something, bro. It's
For
always
sure.
something, and I just learned to live. I just learned to live like just expecting, expecting good to happen, but also knowing the reality of how life is. Life is life, bro. Like it's gonna be something always
Right.
coming up, but it's how you navigate and move and adjust and adapt
For sure.
that will get you through.
For
Exactly.
sure. I
And
feel like my bad, Rob. I was just saying I feel like those
yeah,
situations really help us to prepare us for when we have situations like those, as far as the right way to keep your mind, when you're going through those situations, the right
Yeah,
way to move and stuff. So
for
I
sure.
definitely feel like those moments really,
yeah.
make us
Juco, I feel
stronger,
like
bro.
Juco college period make you it make you. It don't make you a man, but it make you a man. You know what I'm saying? It
Most
makes you
For
grow
definitely.
It
sure.
quicker. It
does,
make you
bro. It
grow. It really
definitely
make you
does.
grow quicker, and it does teach you life lessons that you're gonna
Sure.
need when you get in this life. I mean, when you get older and stuff like that, it teaches you ways how to do certain things because of that life that you did live.
Definitely.
For sure.
Exactly. And to piggyback off Chris' question a little bit, when he was saying how did you keep that motivation, and you talk about your senior year where you basically got yourself kicked off the team. At that point, are you feeling like basketball might not be it no more? Like, you feel me? I know anybody who play any sports probably want to be a professional. So, are you feeling like I just wasted this senior year? I don't even know if I want to hoop no more, or what's going through your head?
Bro, at that time, I ain't care about life, bro. I ain't care about basketball.
Yeah,
I ain't care about nothing. So many people try to come help me, bro, and I'll just push them away because I was living a life where I didn't even want to live, bro. Like basketball wasn't even on my mind. I
Yeah.
didn't even care about basketball. That's why I just went home because if I didn't go home, bro, I don't know what I would have done to somebody or to myself. So
Right.
it
yeah,
was
Right.
just it was something in me that knew basketball. It was my identity in basketball. I knew basketball was all I had. So I told myself when I got home, yo, I know I'm feeling like this, but basketball is all I got. Like I need to do something with it. So it was crazy how I got my first deal too, because when I went home, people was already, on Facebook, you got the message requests and stuff like that. I happened to look at my
yeah,
message
yeah.
Right.
requests and I had somebody, it was a guy in South America that hit me a year before, and this is my first time seeing it.
Damn.
So I seen it, like, yeah, we interested in, we trying to bring you out here or whatever. I'm like, damn, I might be too late. So I just messaged him back, like, yo,
Yeah.
like, I'm out of school right now. Like, I'm like, y'all still interested? He happened to
Are you like training
Right.
during this time
wasn't even
or like during
training,
this time?
bro. Wasn't even training. I'm still
That's
back at the
crazy,
crib,
bro.
doing things I'm not supposed to do. But when he said that, that's what
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta get my stuff together. Let me get my stuff together quick.
Yeah.
You know
That
what
was
I'm
like your
saying?
wake up
So
call.
it was that was the motivation right there. That was the motivation to tell me like, yo, Joe, you can still do something with it, even though you messed up here. You just it's another opportunity for you. Is you going to capitalize off it, or you going to do the same thing that you did the last couple of years? So that was the motivation right there.
So,
Yeah,
so from that point on, it's kind of like. So what did you start doing from that point on to kind of like stay on the straight path and kind of like continue to make the right decisions during that time?
So when I got that offer, like again, it gave me the motivation. So I started
Right.
working out again. I started going to the gym, LA Fitness type thing. Just started working on my game. But I was, the hunger. My with me, this is with me personally. Every time I'm hungry for something, and then I get it, and then I see how things are going, and it may be something that I don't like, I tend to say, forget it. I'm gonna fall back. So when I got there,
Yeah.
right, I was hungry.
Right.
A lot of things about overseas, they make a lot of promises. A lot of promises be taught. You see what I'm saying? They get
boy.
you out there because they need you to
Right.
elevate them, not to elevate me. So I got there, I'm grinding, whatever,
Right.
but I start seeing things how it was, bro. Like, and that hunger slowly started to make me go back to that mindset. Oh, I'm gonna start doing the same thing I used to do then, because this really ain't it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it was a
Yeah,
cycle, man. It was a
Right.
cycle for me. Everybody got their own story. This is my, bro.
Right.
This is
For
my
that's a
sure.
story.
fact.
You feel me?
For sure.
But I did like
For
again. I
sure.
did start a grind. I started working out because I believe, yo, this is an opportunity for me, and whatever opportunity that's for me, that's gonna make my life better. I try to do what is needed to fulfill that role.
For sure.
And how many seasons did you actually play overseas?
I played about 7 to 8. Really, I don't really count like
Man.
tournaments and stuff like that. You got like in Asia, you got like the
Yeah,
wild ball.
yeah.
I played in the Philippines, so you can get paid
Okay.
500, $600 a game type thing. So you probably have
Yeah.
Crazy.
2 or 3 games in like a week. So, but I don't really count those the season. So
Okay.
without those, I probably get 7 to 8.
For sure. Man, that's
So at
crazy.
at a point, do you come to a point where I guess you're tired of doing the traveling back and forth and just decide that playing overseas may not be worth it? But I'm sure you're still thankful for the experience. But do you ever hit that
I
point,
hit
or
that
when do
point
you hit that
early,
point?
man. I hit it in when I first got the offer in South America. I hit it, but again, my identity was basketball. That's what I knew. Joe, I didn't see myself as a coach. I didn't see me as an athletic director or coordinator, which I am now. I didn't see none of this, bro. All I seen
Yeah.
was basketball, basketball, basketball. And a lot of people that do go overseas and play basketball, who even doing it right now, their identity is basketball. They don't think they can do anything else. You feel what I'm saying? So when
For
I
For
was
sure.
playing
sure.
out there, I already knew in the back of my mind. I'm like, yo, this I know I can do more. It's more to life than just me just hooping all day getting a check. Being away
For
from
sure.
friends,
Yeah.
you alone. You got to deal with
Right.
people lying to you. It's a sick. It's a dirty business, bro. I've been in some
Definitely.
places. I've
Yeah.
seen
I
some
Yeah. For
believe
things
it.
that
sure.
made me say, "Yo, I'm done." But again, like basketball, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I was able to grab a hold of my dream and be able to do a lot of things that people want to do. But for me to, but if I'm a person who's going to keep it real with somebody, I'm gonna tell somebody who they do want to go overseas. If they do want to go overseas, play pro, do it, bro. Do it. But in the meantime, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
make sure you're searching your heart and seeing who you really are outside this basketball. It's only gonna last. It's not gonna
For
last
sure.
long. You're
Exactly.
not gonna be able to play sports forever. Find out who you really. You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
I'm not gonna tell kids not to go overseas. There's a lot of no. Go. Enjoy your life. Live, bro. But understand who you are outside this thing, bro. Because it's
Exactly.
going to get to a point where you're going to hit that point where it's like, yo, this is where I really want to do, and that's what hit me. 2020. I wouldn't say that's not. I would have stopped there, but the reason why I ended up, stopping basketball and retiring back in 2020 was because my brother had passed away. If it wasn't for my brother passing away, who knows? I'll probably still be playing. So,
For
I think
sure.
that was my breaking point right there. So, my brother's death was like, okay,
Okay.
nah,
For
this
sure.
this I'm losing people when I'm not home. I could have been there type thing. Like, nah, I'm done. But yeah, I did. I hit that limit and seen all the dirty stuff that was going on. I decided, even though it was a sacrifice, I had to find myself outside of that thing. But
Right.
it was a sacrifice. So like, yo, basketball, it ain't
Right.
it for me no more.
For sure.
So, kind of
Do
talk
you
about like your
go ahead,
transition
man?
from like once you was kind of like done, once you knew that you were finally done playing sports for good. Like myself personally, like I kind of took that the time like right after the sports when I kind of knew it was done. That was kind of like a time that was one of the toughest in my life to really like accept
For
like
sure. I
damn
feel the
like
same
I've been
way.
doing this my whole life like this is kind of like all I've been doing for these 20 plus years up until this point. It was kind of like, so what was like
It's hard to find your purpose after that,
exactly.
Bro,
bro.
that's the hardest. I say that's one of the hardest things besides being a teenager. Because as a teenager, you're trying to find out who you are too. Even if you be an athlete or anything, but that's
Exactly.
that's one of the hardest things is trying to adjust being an adult as well. Trying to you got to work jobs you necessarily didn't want to work. It's just when that happened when that transition really made me question if I wasted a whole 20 years of my life chasing something that I really didn't I wouldn't say want, but I didn't get to the highest of the. The league was my thing. I want to go to
That's
the
what we
league.
all
Every
dream
time I
about.
play
Exactly.
overseas, I want to
Right.
get to the league.
Right.
But that
That's
was
the
the plan
goal,
B. Of
bro.
course, the plan B was playing overseas, but the transition afterwards was just, again, my identity was basketball. So when you don't have an identity in something, it's like you walking around like a chicken with his head cut off. You trying to figure out what to do. It's hard
Right.
because then you got friends
For
and
sure.
family who look at you like, yo, ain't you supposed to be doing this? Like I seen you, like you supposed to be playing. Like what you
Right.
doing?
Yes,
And
bro.
they don't think like they think it's you. Like you tried your best to get to where you wanted to be.
Right.
They looking at you like, bro, you ain't supposed to be at the crib, bro. What you doing,
Right.
man? You
Right.
feel me? So it's
Man.
just I tell people I'm gonna tell y'all like I tell other people who struggle with identity is that you have to find your purpose and you got to be around people that will feed into you and feed your potential um, outside of sports because your family and your friends are only going to know you for who they seen you as. But when you go around people that don't really know you,
Right.
Exactly.
you even meeting new people and stuff like that, that can see like, okay, well, you speak like this. Like I see a lot of potential in you in this. I see a lot of potential in you in this. People started telling me about myself
Right.
that I didn't necessarily see because I see myself as a basketball player. So when I'm
Right.
speaking to people and I'm doing like, yo,
Right.
bro, you should do this. Like you got a lot of energy. You should be a coach. Like I see like the you make people go hard. Like you should be this. So they start feeding my potential,
Yeah.
feeding. Not saying that's what I want to be, but they speaking things into me for me to figure out purpose.
Like
Exactly.
opening your mind up.
So it's all about a
Right.
purpose.
Right.
So
Right.
I tell people now, like, if God created you, if God created you with a purpose and for a purpose, that means everybody has a purpose in their life. It's just that we have
Exactly.
to find that. Once we find that, then we'll know how to
Absolutely.
move and adjust and adapt accordingly to wherever we're called to be. You feel me?
Absolutely.
For sure. For
But that,
sure.
And when you making this, oh, go ahead, Lou.
No, I wasn't saying
Oh,
nothing.
oh, my fault. And when you making this transition out of sports, are you with your wife at the time, or when did you guys
it's
actually
crazy.
meet?
I met my wife 2016. Remember, I dropped out of school in 2016. I met her.
Right.
Me and my
Right.
boys went to Vegas. We turning up or whatever, and we went to Town nightclub, and we in Town nightclub, and this tall girl come in the club. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you the tallest one in the club, she the tallest one in the club, and we just ended up talking whatever that night. And I think I gave her my Snapchat or Instagram or something. And after that, you think it's Vegas. So after that's like after you talk and it's a wrap after that. If you going back to the crib, you probably see me again. You feel me?
Right.
So
That's a fact.
we talking here and there. Once in a while, I'm not even tripping off who she is, whatever. I got my own stuff going on, and I say back in 2018. So 2018, I went to Armenia. But mind you, I was trying to get my life together. I'm thinking I'm done with basketball. Um, I'm working at a regular job, and then I get an offer to go play in Armenia. And mind you, I'm talking while I'm talking to her, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to move back to California, get a job there, and then I hit it with, yo, I'm about to go to Armenia. And this is just off the, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to chase my dream type thing. So I hit it with, I'm going back to
Right.
Armenia,
Right.
and then I'm putting her on the backside, like not really communicating with her, not trying to, keeping a
Yeah.
small talk. And then I ended up going to play in the Philippines. And that's when things just got bad, man. I ended up while I'm talking to my wife now, while I'm talking to her, while I'm in the Philippines, I didn't tell her that I was talking to another woman. And while I'm talking to
Right.
her, come to find out, this woman that I'm talking to in the Philippines she's pregnant now. And mind you, me and my wife now, like we didn't meet since Vegas. So I knew her, but I didn't really know her. So I didn't know
Right.
we was really
Right.
for each other type thing. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know because we never went
Right.
out on a
Right.
date. It was just a one time thing. So she thinking it's something realer than what it was at that time. In my mind, I'm like, yo,
Right.
I got my own agenda. I'm still trying to chase this basketball dream. I'm still trying to do this, that.
Right.
But while
Right.
instead of
Right.
me being honest with her, that happened. So yeah, I ended up having a daughter. Before we even got a chance to even really have the chance to meet. But I'll tell you this: ever since I met her, and we went through, we talked things out. We went through our differences and whatnot. I'll say that's she really helped me change my life. Um, we
For
officially
sure.
met in 2019 when I officially flew out here in 2019. We started getting our groove together, getting our relationship better. But she already had a decision like, yo, I'm not going to let you move in. I don't want to do nothing until we married. And we still trying
Yeah.
to build our relationship with God and stuff like that. But I think it was 2021, 2021, I officially moved back to California to become a basketball coach. And we talk our thing out what we want to do. And I proposed the question, will you
So
marry
during,
me?
so during this time, are you guys just like kind of flying,
Long
traveling back
distance,
and forth to
bro.
one another?
Long
Yeah,
distance, bro.
you know,
Yeah.
Long distance.
that could be
How did that go for
Tough,
you? Was
bro.
that tough?
Tough. And this
Yeah.
is during COVID. This is during the time. This is during COVID.
Yeah.
This is during the time my
Man.
brother died. This is the time pregnancy, daughter coming. Like I was going through it, bro.
You got a lot on your
I
plate
know
at this
you
time.
overwhelmed with
Yeah.
Going
A
both of
lot
that.
through
going
it,
on.
bro. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going through it, bro. I'm talking about I
That's
was going
crazy.
through it, but she was always that person in my ear, like things going like she just made everything much better for me in a sense. You see what I'm saying? It was weird, but it was like I
Yeah.
felt I felt
Right.
better though. I felt better in a sense, but
What the part that makes you feel weird is like, man, we hardly really
we
know each other, and this woman is like, you know, what I mean, she sees something in me that I kind of don't even
I don't
see
even
in
see.
myself at this point.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Like she's seeing all this in me, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, she talking about? What's she talking about? I don't see the man that you see. You feel
Man,
me?
who
Like
me?
all I've been through, all I did, you still want to be with.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like you still want to be with for
yeah,
all
Man.
I've done, bro.
Right.
It was just something.
yeah. I feel
It
you.
got to the point where I tried to push her away because I felt like, yo, you too good for me. Why would I try to ruin? I'm not gonna ruin your life. Like you too
Right.
good. You too good for me.
For sure.
But she
Right.
loved me for who I was and who I was at that time. It's like why wouldn't I marry that? Why I wouldn't even think about marriage. But the way she was thinking and the way I felt like God really put her in her. I felt like God really put her in my life for a reason, and because of that,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
That's a
this is
blessing,
this is
man.
my wife. I want to marry her. So I proposed a question, 2021. Now it's been a year. We've been a year married, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Been a
Congratulations, my
year
boy.
married,
Congratulations,
man.
bro.
So,
Congratulations,
so
man.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate
congrats, bro. So y'all break
you.
national headlines. Y'all on LA Times, Fox 11, ABC, just about any national news thing that you can be on. How did this even come into fruition with the
Yeah.
$500 wedding? And did y'all know like this would be the turnout for it, or was y'all just doing what was best for y'all
Man,
at
let
the
me tell
time?
you, bro. I was broke as a joke. That was the reason why I didn't want to get married. But I was broke during this time. And mind you, when we made the video, we was doing it out of just me and her. We just because she's a social media manager, does like YouTube. She's been doing YouTube
Right.
for years, so
Okay.
she was doing it off of
Yeah.
Right.
just showing people like, yo, you ain't really gotta have a lot of money to get married type thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, of course, like I didn't
Right.
expect it to blow up the way it did, bro. We didn't expect it. We thought we was gonna post a
Right.
video. We got she got her dress for like $47 from Shein. I got my suit from Boohoo, and we were like, oh, we gonna do this the best we can, and it just, man, I'm talking about. We
Yeah.
woke up the next. I think it was in April, whatever. We just People blowing us up. Oh, you do this, you that. I'm like, family start acting different. Friends start acting like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, yo, mom, like you ain't never do none of your life, yo. Like, what's up, man? But yeah, I knew it was all out of love, and people really didn't expect it to be to what it was because a lot of my family didn't come to the wedding, but my mom, my
Right.
Right.
dad, her family. It was only like I'd say 20 to 30 people tops that came to the wedding that really seen what happened. We didn't expect this thing to go
Right.
viral the way it did, but
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was because of our obedience. Like we made a commitment to God, and we said we are gonna do it like this, and we truly felt like God breathed on it, just to show people like, yo, this is what it's about. It's not about what you could have or just having a spectacular wedding. Like if we had the money, best believe we would have had a. If I had the money, it would be lit. Like
Yeah.
we at this part, we at top,
Right.
we on the hill.
For
If
Exactly.
we
sure.
had it. But I don't think that's what love.
Definitely.
The love is not really because you got to understand the wedding only lasts a day. The marriage lasts forever. So we didn't want to go all out. I told my wife I want to go
Exactly.
to a courthouse. You feel me? I wanted to go to a courthouse, so
Right.
it wasn't even going to be what it was if we went to a courthouse. But I think again, God just breathed on it just to show
Right.
people like, yo, this is a wedding. It's not really about the wedding. It's really about two people finding love, committed to each other, and really just trying to walk this thing out.
For
Right.
real. I feel like y'all help a lot of people, in ways that maybe people was in the same situation as y'all and maybe they felt like, how you was feeling like, I don't got the money to get married, but you know what I'm saying? I really do love this person. So I
Exactly.
mean, even for somebody seeing that and it just what I'm saying, it could just help anybody,
But
what I'm saying, in that situation as far as, what I'm saying, doing it for the right reasons. Like it don't gotta be the most extravagant thing if that's
facts,
not what you could do
facts.
right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And then talk a little bit about over the course of your lifetime. You've been through so many highs, so many lows. You now with your wife. Talk about your faith in God. Did you always just have a strong faith that He was gonna figure it out for you, or when did you, as you see your life play out today, when did you really start to believe and believe that He had a
All right,
purpose for you?
so I grew up in church. I wasn't a church baby. I wasn't no pastor's kid or nothing like that. But I had a grandma that was a deacon. She always used to always bring us to church and stuff like that. So, my foundation was always in the church. I was always, Christian. I was always saved. But, I had traumas in my life. I went through certain things in my life, which a lot of people go through, which make them doubt, or which will make them believe like, yo, this he ain't real. If God was real, if Jesus was real, then why am I living this type of life? So, as I got older, I
Yeah.
started to go astray. I started, when knowledge and information come, especially when the internet age, you start reading about certain things, you start seeing things on the internet, which has some truth in it, but it's not full truth. So you got all types of information out here
Right.
that really played a key role in me going astray. And with me going astray, like in college and stuff like that, it was one of the it was the foundation of why my life went the way it went. And I always say like I believe God was on my he had his hand on me because after all I've been through, he knew I was gonna come back. He knew I just had to go through certain things because it was out of my rebellion. It was out of um my own free will to go out here and neglect what I've been brought up as. So it was in 2018.
Right.
This is when me and my wife really started like um talking or whatever. I believe it was around that time, but I was in Vietnam. I was on drugs. I was high. I decided I was gonna, and I didn't even tell this part, but I'm gonna tell it on here. That's cool. Um, I was high.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
of
told
course.
myself like, yo, if God's real, I want something to happen in my life to have to cause me to change my life. I don't want to be the same Joe no more. So so I was looking on YouTube. People was talking about
Yeah.
doing acid and stuff like that. So I found an acid guy, a person I sold acid in Vietnam. So mind you, I'm in Vietnam by myself. I'm on acid in my room, and I could have lost my life that night, but it was only because of God. God intervened that night, and I'm not gonna go into a deep story. We could talk about that some other time, but I'm gonna just summarize it. God intervened in that when I was in that room by myself, when I felt like I was going to commit suicide, I was going to jump off a ledge, and he came in that room. It wasn't no some guy came in my room and no, it was his audible voice like, yo.
Right.
He told me 2 times like, yo, break that curse. And the curse he was talking about, my dad right now is in treatment right now because of drugs, man. He been on drugs his whole life, and that same spirit came on my brother, took his life. That same spirit in my life was
Right.
trying to take me out, but God intervened and was like, "Nah, you got to break that curse." And ever since then, I knew God had His hands on me, and I chose that night, yo, since God saved my life, I'm going to do whatever he told me to. He tells me to do. I'm gonna do what's right now. I'm gonna do what can save a lot of other young men. I'm gonna do it because look, I could have not been here. I could have wasted my life. Just how I'm not gonna say my brother wasted his life, but I could have ended up like my brother. I could have ended up like my dad. But God chose me to change, you know, the lineage from here on out with my kids and with myself. So that's what made me really,
For sure.
you know, go and seek God and seek His face and really get into the Word because that Word is real, and I can't make anybody believe God. That's not my job. All I can do is be the
Right.
example. All I can do is
Right.
live my life and show people that He's real and how I live. That's not mean I don't struggle. I struggle just like all three of us
For
struggle.
sure.
All four of us struggle. Struggle. It's life, but
Right.
I'm still
Exactly.
try to live a certain way to where I can bring somebody out who, when they first meet me, they're not gonna understand my story. I'm telling y'all, they're gonna see me for who I am. But if I tell them my story,
For
they're
sure.
gonna have they're gonna have the encouragement to change and change their lifestyle and be better because they see somebody else who made it through. So that's where my strength come
For
from.
sure.
That's where, I really my faith has really been strong, and I think that's my job. That's my job from now on, and that's how I'm gonna walk it out from here on out. Yeah, we can talk about sports. For sports is always gonna be my number one, but at the same time, it's a lot of wisdom I'm gonna give. It's a lot of gems I'm going to give because like me and you
Heck yeah.
and Chris and Mel that need us. They need us not for what we do and for our sports, but what
For
we can
sure.
bring, bro. And we all got something. We all got something we can bring to anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at in my life,
For
bro.
sure.
That's the truth.
And while we just on this
For
subject of
sure.
like, you know, experiencing with drugs and stuff, that's kind of like a big thing going on right now throughout the youth community, pretty much all over the world. So just while we're on that subject, what's kind of like a piece of advice that you would give to a young man or a young woman kind of going through that right now, having their battles with different things? What kind of advice would you give them to kind of give them some kind of like hope, uh, to just, hold on and kind of just start trying to get their life on the right track?
So I would, and I got kids like this right now, but I would tell them like I'm not gonna beat them up about it because again I lived that life and I know how it could be. It's not always they just people don't want to get high because they want to get high. There's something going on in their
Right.
life that they're trying to escape. But I'll just tell them, do not chase temporary happiness. Don't chase temporary peace. Don't chase that because it's a false peace that drugs will give you. You're still after you're high, you're gonna be high, you're gonna be drunk for about 30 minutes to an hour. Then reality is back here. So don't chase temporary peace. Don't chase the false realities that drugs give you. really, get to the root of the issue. Understand there's people out here that's out here for you, and that's the best way I could put it.
Definitely.
Is don't chase the temporary happiness, don't chase the temporary peace that drugs give you. Just understand there's people out here that struggle like me
For
and
sure.
you, but we got to be open and vulnerable to
Yeah,
to accept like something is wrong. Don't be scared to don't be scared to don't be afraid to talk, even though that's the reality for some. For many, they're afraid to speak.
Right.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's real talk, bro. I think that's pretty much all we got for you today. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We appreciate you coming
Appreciate
on
y'all, bro.
again, bro.
Sure,
Glad to
Yes,
hear
man.
how
sir.
your
Appreciate
story
y'all.
turned out, bro.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure.
No
Man,
problem,
we
All right,
brother.
appreciate all the gems you dropped for anybody
good luck.
listening, bro.
For sure.
All right, y'all be safe, man.